Good evening and welcome to Pakistan Today News from our London studio. I'm Victoria Lane. We begin with rapidly escalating tensions in the Middle East, where Israel says it has carried out a series of airstrikes on Iranian military targets in and around Tehran. According to Israeli claims, the strikes damaged weapon systems and defense infrastructure across multiple sites. In a parallel development, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has denied any involvement in a reported drone attack on the United States Embassy in Riyadh, instead accusing Israel of orchestrating the incident. Meanwhile, in Lebanon, the United Nations reports that several peacekeepers have been wounded amid ongoing clashes between Israeli forces and Hezbollah fighters, as cross-border violence intensifies and fears of a wider regional war grow. In response to the escalating situation, Iran has issued a stern warning to Israel against any attacks on Iranian diplomatic missions. Iranian military statements, carried by regional media, suggest that such actions could trigger retaliation against Israeli diplomatic posts worldwide. This comes amid a broader surge in hostilities across the region, with continued airstrikes in both Lebanese and Iranian territories, and rising concern among global powers over regional stability and the potential shock to international energy markets. We now turn to developments in maritime security in the Gulf region, where a second Turkish-flagged vessel has successfully crossed the conflict-hit Strait of Hormuz. Turkey's Transport Minister Abdulkadir Uraloglu confirmed the passage, noting that out of 15 Turkish-owned ships originally waiting at the outbreak of hostilities on February 28th, only 2 have managed to transit the strategic waterway so far. The limited movement highlights continuing risks for global shipping lanes as tensions persist in one of the world's most critical energy corridors. Next, the Israeli military has confirmed that it struck multiple military sites in Tehran yesterday, targeting regime air defense systems, weapons research facilities, and ballistic missile storage locations. Israel has claimed the strikes hit key weapons production and research infrastructure, though it has not provided independent evidence. In response, Iran's National Air Defense reports it has downed more than 160 enemy drones, including Hermes and Lucas models, along with several advanced fighter jets. Brigadier General Alireza El-Hami stated that Iran's indigenous defense systems caused significant disruption and confusion for incoming forces. Now, for more on the regional security situation, we go live to Islamabad, where our correspondent Sarah William is covering the diplomatic and strategic implications of the escalation.
Thank you, Victoria. The situation across the Middle East remains extremely volatile, with multiple fronts of confrontation stretching from Iran and Israel to Lebanon and key maritime routes like the Strait of Hormuz. Diplomatic channels are under immense pressure as governments attempt to prevent further escalation. Regional analysts here in Islamabad say the growing cycle of strikes and counterstrikes risks pulling in additional actors and destabilizing energy supplies worldwide. Officials are closely watching international responses, particularly from the United Nations and major global powers, as efforts to contain the crisis continue.
Thank you to Sarah William reporting from Islamabad. Turning now to economic fallout from the conflict. Senegal has suspended all non-essential foreign travel for ministers and senior officials as rising global oil prices strain its national budget. Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko said oil is now trading at around $115 per barrel, nearly double the government's projected budget assumption of $62. He has canceled planned trips to Niger, Spain, and France, stressing that only essential travel will be permitted. Authorities across the region are now considering subsidies, fuel adjustments, and other economic measures to manage the mounting pressure on public finances. We now move to the United Nations Security Council, which remains divided over a Gulf Arab-backed proposal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, a vital waterway responsible for roughly 1/5 of global oil and gas flows. Bahrain, supported by the United Arab Emirates and the United States, has introduced a draft resolution authorizing all defensive means to secure shipping routes. However, China, Russia, and France have raised objections to key provisions, forcing repeated postponements as diplomatic lobbying intensifies at the UN headquarters. And finally, in a related development, Iran has warned the United Nations Security Council against what it called provocative action over the Strait of Hormuz, saying such steps would further complicate an already fragile situation. At the same time, Gulf Cooperation Council states, heavily dependent on energy exports through the strait, are facing significant economic strain, with reports indicating disruptions including Qatar halting LNG production. As divisions deepen, the Security Council remains split between restoring maritime security and avoiding further escalation in the region. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today News. I'm Victoria Lane.